The Galactic Council had long observed Earth, a small, seemingly insignificant planet in the Milky Way. Its inhabitants, known as humans, had shown promise but were also plagued by internal conflicts, environmental negligence, and an almost reckless attitude toward their own survival. Still, they had not yet become a threat to the wider galaxy, or so the Council thought. That all changed when the Zoreth, a technologically advanced alien species, decided to invade Earth. Confident in their superior weaponry and advanced fleet, they underestimated humanity's resourcefulness. Their plan was simple: overwhelm the humans, strip Earth of its resources, and leave behind nothing but ash. Easy. When the Zoreth first landed, they found Earth's cities crumbling, its skies polluted, and its oceans filled with trash. They sneered at humanity's wastefulness. What kind of species would let their world decay in such a way? Primitive. The Zoreth commander scoffed as he surveyed the garbage-strewn landscape from the bridge of his ship. This will be easier than I thought. What the Zoreth didn't realize was that humanity's biggest flaw had also become their greatest strength. Out of necessity, humans had adapted to survive in a world teeming with waste. They had learned to repurpose, recycle, in their darkest hours, weaponize everything at their disposal. The first wave of Zoreth troops marched into an abandoned city, expecting little resistance. Instead, they were met with a surprise. From the wreckage of buildings and piles of discarded electronics, makeshift machines began to emerge. Humans had taken their own garbage, scraps of metal, broken machinery, and everyday refuse, and transformed it into deadly weapons of war. Old car engines, powered artillery, discarded computer chips, controlled drones, and plastics from the ocean had been melted down to form impenetrable armor. Entire armies were mobilized using what the aliens dismissed as trash. The Zoreth soldiers, shocked by the ingenuity, were not prepared for this kind of warfare. Their sophisticated lasers and energy shields were meant to combat advanced civilizations, not a species capable of turning bottle caps and rusted gears into tactical advantages. The humans fought with a ferocity born out of survival, adapting quickly and using their newfound weapons with precision. "They're using trash," a Zoreth general said in disbelief as reports flooded in from the battlefield. His eyes widened as he watched footage of humans repelling their best troops using what looked like scrap metal catapults and drones pieced together from electronic waste. The Zoreth command ship hovered above the planet, its crew frowned, seen in shock as the tide of the battle shifted. What they thought would be a swift conquest had turned into a prolonged and brutal struggle. As the humans pressed their advantage, the Zoreth began to realize that they had severely underestimated their enemy. "They're relentless," the commander muttered, staring at the screen, "and they're turning their own refuse into weapons. How is this possible?" In the midst of battle, one human fighter mechanic by trade stood over the remains of a destroyed alien war machine. Using nothing but a wrench and spare parts, he tore apart the alien tech, repurposing it for his squad's defense. "Aliens think we're weak because of this trash," he muttered to himself, tightening a bolt on the repurposed weapon. "But we've always turned problems into solutions." The humans' adaptability became their greatest strength. They turned every Zoreth weapon they captured into something deadlier. What the aliens had failed to grasp was that one of their species might have crumbled under the weight of their own waste. Humanity thrived in chaos. Earth's trash had become a symbol of their resilience, a tool for survival, and now a weapon of war. As the Zoreth fleet retreated, battered and humiliated, they left with one lesson seared into their minds: humans were not to be underestimated. They were a species capable of surviving anything, even their own destruction, and in the process, they had turned what was once seen as their greatest weakness into the ultimate weapon. In the quiet aftermath, as the humans began to rebuild, they stood united in their victory, knowing that their ability to adapt had saved them. They had taken the refuse of their civilization and used it to fight off a powerful enemy. For the first time in a long while, they felt a sense of pride in what they had once considered trash. And as they looked to the stars, they knew the galaxy would never forget the day humans fought back with their own discarded scraps and won. The Zoreth may have retreated, but they were far from defeated. High command of the Zoreth Empire, humiliated by their failure, called for an emergency council. The galactic leaders convened in a massive chamber, the air thick with tension. The holographic display of Earth floated in the center, marked with their battle losses. They beat us with garbage, Commander Thick spat, still nursing the shame of their retreat. His tone held a mixture of disbelief and outrage. We are an advanced species, centuries beyond them. How could this happen? Admiral Easter, one of the oldest and most experienced leaders in the Zoreth Empire, narrowed his eyes. We underestimated them, but that's not a mistake we will make twice. His voice was low and dangerous, sending chills through the room. Humans are resourceful. Yes, they used their trash to fight us, but what happens when we take away their trash? The room fell silent. Easter's suggestion was so simple, yet so devastating. Humanity had survived by repurposing their waste. What if the Zoreth removed that advantage? Prepare a second invasion, Easter ordered. This time, we will not engage them on the ground. We will attack their infrastructure. We will remove their tools of survival and leave them defenseless. The plan was set into motion quickly. In the far reaches of the galaxy, the Zoreth fleet was rebuilt, stronger than before. They equipped themselves with technology specifically designed to target Earth's waste processing systems, recycling plants, and industrial complexes. The goal was clear: strip humanity of their ability to weaponize their refuse. Back on Earth, the victory celebrations were short-lived. Humanity knew that the Zoreth would return. While the world's leaders scrambled to prepare, the reality of the next phase of war began to sink in. "We've won a battle," said General Monroe, addressing the makeshift Human Defense Council, "but the war is far from over. They will come back, and we need to be ready." In underground bunkers and abandoned factories, humans continued to innovate. They had learned how to turn trash into weapons, but now they sought new ways to protect their planet. Engineers, hackers, and even scavengers worked tirelessly, collecting anything they could use to defend against the next attack. That's when the first signs of the Zoreth return appeared. Massive ships blotted out the sky, sending electromagnetic pulses across the globe. Satellites, communication lines, and power grids went dark. And then, in a series of targeted strikes, they began destroying the very facilities that had been the cornerstone of humanity's defense. The Zoreth didn't bother landing troops this time. They stayed in the upper atmosphere, raining down destruction on Earth's waste management systems. Recycling plants, landfills, and even oceanside trash piles were incinerated. In a matter of hours, much of the world's garbage was wiped out, vaporized in the blink of an eye. On the ground, people watched in horror. The tools they had relied on, the very trash that had saved them, was disappearing. The Zoreth had learned from their mistakes, and now humanity was at a loss. No more scrap metal to salvage, no more junk to repurpose. Humanity was being stripped of its armor, its weapons, its hope. "We're running out of time," General Monroe said, standing in the dim light of an emergency bunker. His face was etched with worry. "If we can't find a way to fight back, this is the end." But not everyone had given up hope. Deep in the ruins of a bombed-out city, a small group of engineers had been working on something entirely new. Led by Lena, a former robotics expert, they had taken the Zoreth technology, salvaged from the first invasion, and fused it with what little human tech remained. "We might not have trash anymore," Lena said, her hands flying over a keyboard as she calibrated the final touches on a drone. "But we've got something better now, their technology." The humans had learned from the aliens, just as the aliens had learned from them. By reverse engineering the advanced Zoreth tech, Lena's team had developed a series of drones and energy-based weapons, built to withstand the Zoreth's pulse attacks. These weapons weren't made from trash. They were forged from the very technology the Zoreth had used to destroy them. As the next wave of Zoreth ships descended from the sky, Lena's team unleashed their new creations. Thousands of drones, equipped with hybrid human-alien tech, rose into the air. They flew in tight formations, targeting the alien ships with precision strikes. Energy blasts erupted, lighting up the night sky. The Zoreth, expecting an easy victory, were caught off guard once again. Their ships, which had easily vaporized Earth's trash, were now being crippled by their own technology. Turned against them, the battle in the sky raged on, as humanity's drones tore through the Zoreth fleet. "They thought they could take away our weapons," Lena said with a fierce grin, watching her drones tear through the enemy ships. "But they forgot one thing can turn anything into a weapon: On the ground, people cheered as the alien fleet began to fall, one ship after another crashing to Earth. Humanity had adapted once more, proving that no matter what the Zoreth threw at them, they would find a way to survive. In the end, the Zoreth were forced to retreat for the second time, but this time, they left with a newfound respect for the humans. They realized that this species, though chaotic and reckless, was also incredibly resilient. The humans didn't just survive, they thrived in adversity. As the smoke cleared and the skies quieted, Earth stood victorious. They had fought off an advanced alien race not once, but twice, and each time they had adapted and grown stronger. The war wasn't over, but one thing was certain: humans were not to be underestimated. They had proven that they could turn even the most unlikely of materials into weapons. Now, with alien technology in their hands, who knew what they would create next? The galaxy was watching closely, and for the first time, the humans weren't just survivors, they were contenders. The Zoreth, humiliated twice by a species they had once considered insignificant, withdrew to their homeworld to reassess. In their retreat, they left behind wreckage and abandoned technology scattered across Earth. The Galactic Council, which had remained neutral throughout the invasion, now paid close attention to the planet. What had once been a quiet backwater world was now on everyone's radar. Humanity had shown resilience, ingenuity, and above all, an ability to turn the odds in their favor no matter how dire the situation seemed. But the war had not left Earth unscathed. Cities lay in ruins, ecosystems were damaged, and millions mourned their dead. Yet, in the rubble of their victory, humanity found opportunity. Leaders from around the globe met to discuss the next steps for their planet's survival. They knew the Zoreth would not give up easily, and the Galactic Council's eyes were now upon them. The time for defense was over. It was time for humanity to claim its place among the stars. In a fortified base hidden beneath the Rockies, Lena stood in front of a massive screen displaying schematics and battle plans. Around her, scientists, engineers, and military leaders from all over the world gathered. What had started as a small team of rogue engineers had grown into the beating heart of humanity's defense and offense. "They'll be back," Lena said, her voice steady but filled with purpose. "And next time, we need to be ready to meet them in space, not just on Earth. We can always be on the defensive." General Monroe, who had become one of the most trusted leaders in the fight against the Zoreth, nodded. "We've proven that we can turn anything into a weapon, but we're going to need more than scavenge tech for the next phase." The plan was bold. Humanity would use the wreckage of the Zoreth fleet, combined with their newfound understanding of alien technology, to build a fleet of their own. The Zoreth had tried to crush humanity, but in doing so, they had inadvertently provided them with the tools to ascend. Engineers worked around the clock, reverse engineering Zoreth propulsion systems, weaponry, and energy shields, fusing them with human ingenuity to create ships capable of interstellar travel and combat. Months passed, and Earth's first fleet Phoenix Armada was born. Each ship was a marvel of hybrid technology, designed not just for defense but for exploration. Humanity had once been bound to Earth, confined to their solar system, but now they had the means to go beyond it. As construction on the fleet neared completion, a message arrived from the Galactic Council. The holographic projection appeared in the war room, where Lena, General Monroe, and the rest of the human leadership gathered. "You have demonstrated remarkable resilience, humans," said the voice of a council representative, a tall figure with shimmering skin and elongated limbs. "But the galaxy is not a place for uninvited guests. You are still young, still reckless. Return to your planet and stay within your system, or face consequences." Lena crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing. "They're afraid of us," she whispered to Monroe, "because we're unpredictable. They don't know what we'll do next." General Monroe addressed the Council's projection. "We respect the Galactic Council, but humanity has earned its place. We will not be confined to our world any longer. If you fear us, then perhaps you should." The Council's image flickered for a moment, and then it disappeared, leaving only silence in the room. Monroe turned to Lena. "Are the ships ready?" "They're ready," she said, a determined smile playing on her lips. "And so are we." The Zoreth were not idle during this time. Their defeat had stung, but now they too prepared for a final confrontation. The humans were no longer just a nuisance, they were a threat. and the Zoreth Empire could not afford to lose again. Their fleet, larger and deadlier than before, began its journey toward Earth. As the Zoreth fleet approached, the skies over Earth darkened once more, but this time, humanity was not scrambling in fear. They were ready. The Phoenix Armada took to the skies, sleek ships with glowing energy shields, armed with weapons that had once belonged to their enemies. From space, the sight was breathtaking. Earth's ships rose in formation, cutting through the atmosphere like arrows of light, meeting the Zoreth fleet head-on. The final battle for humanity's future had begun. Lena's fingers flew over the controls of her ship, the Tempest, as the first Zoreth ships opened fire. "All wings, form up," she commanded over the comms, her voice steady. "We've got this." The battle was fierce, but humanity fought with a fire that the Zoreth had never expected. They had evolved adapted as more. The Zoreth, with all their advanced technology, had underestimated the human spirit. They fought not just with weapons, but with every ounce of their will, every lesson learned from the wreckage of their planet. Laser fire streaked across the void of space as human and Zoreth ships engaged in a dance of death. One by one, the Zoreth ships fell, their shields unable to withstand the new hybrid technology humanity had developed. The humans, once bound by gravity and their own limitations, now soared through the stars as equals now, as victors. In the chaos of battle, Lena's Tempest locked onto the Zoreth command ship. "Let's end this," she muttered, her ship streaking toward the enemy's heart. A massive explosion tore through space as the Zoreth flagship crumbled under the onslaught. The rest of the alien fleet, demoralized and broken, retreated into the darkness of space, fleeing for their homeworld. As the wreckage of the Zoreth fleet drifted through space, the Phoenix Armada regrouped. Victorious, Earth had defended itself, and more than that, they had proven that they belonged among the stars. The Galactic Council, watching from afar, was forced to recognize humanity's ascension. They had faced the most advanced species in the galaxy, and they had won. Lena, standing on the bridge of the Tempest, looked out at the stars. "This is just the beginning," she whispered, a fierce determination in her eyes. "We've proven we can survive. Now it's time to thrive." Humanity, once seen as a species doomed by their own waste and mistakes, had risen from the ashes of their past. They had turned their trash into triumph, their chaos into strength. Nah, the stars were theirs to explore, to conquer, to call home.